Hard times, stuck at the end of the dead-end drive, you know? Hard times, stuck at the end of a dead-end drive, you know? Losing self in thoughtless rambles and spastic actions, lighting spliffs with thumbpack tobacco, letting spirit be dampened, wet wash delirium as we roll our tongues, making Wookie bugs. Losing self in thoughtless rambles and spastic actions, lighting spliffs with thumbpack tobacco, letting spirit be dampened, wet wash delirium as we roll our tongues, making Wookie bugs. Felonious and moral, architecting conversation like two different directions of consciousness awareness. I'm the lesser of two evils, instigate addiction and make you fit in. Free of Pandora, call me careless. Frontal lobe distorted as my voice hoarse, cause we swallow glass. Anything we could do to extinguish a shitty attitude. Fire me in the kiln and distinguish from the pack. Das racist, like Dastardly Duo. Slouch and Slim the superheroes, Bulbous and Fission. When in doubt, tits of the route. That's what Curtis do. That's what Curtis do. This is what Curtis does. That's what Curtis do. Losing self in thoughtless rambles and spastic actions. Lighting spliffs with thumbpack tobacco. Letting spirit be dampened. Wet wash delirium as we roll our tongues. Making Wookie bugs. This is what Curtis do. That's what Curtis do. This is what Curtis does. That's what Curtis do. This is what Curtis does. That's what Curtis do. Losing self in thoughtless rambles and spastic actions. Lighting spliffs with thumbpack tobacco. Letting spirit be dampened. Wet wash delirium as we roll our tongues. Making Wookie bugs. I was sleeping and my alarm starts ringing. I could hear a fat lady singing out of bed to the sound of my mama screaming. Breakfast is ready, time for some eating. Cleaned up and got dressed and now I'm leaving. Out into this world that's always peeving. It's so fucked up, got me believing no matter how you deceive it, you'll always be misconceiving. Just be you and follow the golden rule. I challenge thee to keep digging digging so deep to your dreams. Way back when Jack had that red and black lumberjack to match. 10,000 leagues under the sea, just making ripples with beats, throwing as many pebbles as I see, smooth as can be, popping ecstasy and lacing little kids' drinks. Anything to be noticed. Anything to be noticed. This is what Curtis does. That's what Curtis do. This is what Curtis does. That's what Curtis do. This is what Curtis does. That's what Curtis do. Losing self in thoughtless rambles and spastic actions, lighting spliffs with thumbpack tobacco, letting spirit be dampened, wet wash delirium as we roll our tongues, making Wookie bugs. Losing self in thoughtless rambles and spastic actions, lighting spliffs with thumbpack tobacco, letting spirit be dampened, wet wash delirium as we roll our tongues, making Wookie bugs. Lil Dribs we call him, cause so much knowledge flow from head to mouth, he can't keep it shut now. We always yelling at him to stop spitting his words and telling him that letters just don't hurt. Gotta stick to good old Mr. Nice Guy, nickname 2x4, I'm nailing your ass to the floor. Smacked back in fact like an artifact as we check the facts. Decipher lies, I'm telling old school wise Willy Wonka noise with a nose like Pinocchio. Seeing stars, Galileo, many a word Shakespearean verse as I rehearse, trying to get the dress code to stick. Nurse! Not sticking to old school sound, I want new school. I want to educate you on the way us Kuvites do. I'm happy as can be out here in the northeast, west, Portland or Weekly. Issue of Willamette, you'll find me, Willie Weed, writing all them articles and columns. Can't be locked away in the same beds at the hospital VA, y'all strapped in. We wormlings gotta dig our own direction, find my own voice, and add inflection. Cause that's what Curtis do. Cause that's what Curtis do. He goes and seeks in his journeys and his dreams. That's what Curtis do. That's what Curtis does. That's what Curtis do. Curtis.